Digits. Delayed expectations.
There we go.
DGT season 3 finale. Actually, I have a soundboard, so why did I do that? And I could just,
I
just
do that. Back to the old school, man.
You know what I mean? I want to do it.
Back to the old school, man. You never know. You never know when the soundboard ain't there. You got to soundboard with your. You know what I'm saying?
Bobby McFerrin it up. You know what I'm saying? We got this is a special occasion because this is the finale for season 3. It's been a long year we all had. You know, everybody's done like 2020 wrap-ups and all that. That's not going to be this because we always are projecting ourselves into the future. So this is our looking into the future predictions and trends of what's going to be popping in 2021 and beyond. Before we get into that, who do we have in the building with us? I go by the name of Small Eyes with a Z. If you didn't already know, who else we got with us?
It's your girl AshLee, baby.
Please say the baby.
You got your boy Back Preston, because I be spitting on facts.
Wow, facts.
Kavari.
Facts Preston.
Kavari, just one word. He does all. That's all he needs. And we got the good brother Cope. You know what I'm saying? The good brother Cope with us,
Cope,
man. C Cope joining the regime.
Yo.
It's an honor to have him. And yo, man, we can't wait. We coming with it. All right, so to get right into it, we getting right into it because that's what 2021 deserves. We're gonna start with the warm up.
Lights please, turn off the lights. For now, everything just seems so right.
You know, shout out to Jermaine, man. Maybe Jermaine's gonna have a good year. All the heavy hitters. No, I'm not starting 2021 dissing Jermaine. I want to give him all the love. I want to give him all the love.
He'll start like he didn't have a good year.
I mean, he didn't do anything in 2021, so that's what I'm saying.
Before that, did he have a good year?
Maybe. Again, we're not starting. No cold slander. No cold slander at the start of 2021. What I do want to do, I want to give a special announcement, and I really want to give all the love. If you're watching this on the YouTubes, you can actually see I'm rocking one, and Ashley C. Baby, please say the baby, has her wonderful and beautifully handcrafted, bespoke Digi Good Tribe merch, and we want to thank and give just special love to all of our supporters who purchased with us, who shop with us during the holiday season, and we're so excited to get that off to y'all soon. We're working on them. We're working hard. I mean, just to give you context, like these things, these pieces, we're not making a lot, which is where the bespoke point comes from. Like they require hours and hours on individual shirts. You know what I mean? What podcast do you know? Black Tech Podcast hand making they shit. Getting it out the mud. We said this season was called Getting It Out the Mud. Guess what? We legitimately are getting it out the mud. Legitimately, because we're basing our designs off of mud cloth. See, y'all don't even see where I took y'all. But it's cool, man. It's totally fine. I'm not going to go off a tangent, but I do honestly want to give all the love and all of the just thank yous to the people who help keep this going. And we got so much more planned for y'all in season 4. We'll have more details about that, but I really wanted to give y'all love, and we thank y'all. And we'll have more special shout outs for y'all to come. So let's get into the topic, which is: does anybody care about, or do you care about your messages being encrypted? And here's the why behind that. If you aren't already familiar, we know about the events that transpired over the last few weeks and all of the, just white supremacy, and you know what I mean? And we don't have to go down that rabbit hole, but what we do know is that the current change of events has forced these folks underground. And that is actually to the detriment of understanding their movements, these white supremacist movements. They were easily tracked when they were on apps like Parler and all these other apps, which now have all of their data. Everything has essentially been totally compromised, which is good in a good way. They've been compromised. So I say all that to say that they have actually been pushed and forced into encrypted spaces, which are harder to actually track. So I wanted to bring that into the conversation, but then also ask, is that something that any of y'all care about? When you are using any kind of communication on a day-to-day basis, is that at the forefront of your mind? Is your conversations encrypted? Is it protected? Or do you not give a shit because you feel like they already got all your information? I open it up to you all.
Honestly, I feel like if they want it, they can get it regardless. So what's the point?
If you want it.
So you're saying like even with encrypted apps, like if somebody really wanted to get to that information, it's still there? Like
only because I'm not as knowledgeable of, and I just wanted to say that to be honest, so that it, just in case if it doesn't resonate with, or somebody else understands that, and they're in the same place. I don't understand the whole encrypted process. I know a little bit, but not as much as I should know possibly. So I would say in my eyes, yes, I feel like they're going to get it. If they want it, they can get it. There's ways.
Okay.
I mean,
that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, I think for anybody that's a certain level of, hacker or just understanding, a deeper side of technology and the internet, I think that they can figure out a way to get access to most information that they want to get access to. I guess to answer your question, I don't think about it daily, but I do have encryption messaging apps downloaded. And I noticed that, the ones that I'm on, like Signal, I noticed that I see a lot of people who are kind of signing up for that, like, every other day, if not every week, to get those alerts.
Gangbusters.
So, yeah. So I think that the breaking point is going to be like where people's data is more visible, even just to themselves, where they can see what's really going to where the data is going, who's truly seeing and viewing their data. And I think people will get more serious about it. But right now it's a little bit of out of sight, out of mind. So you're not getting directly impacted by it. The average person's not being directly impacted by it, so they don't really care about it. Obviously, you got these people that are wanting to plan some shit. You got people that are wanting to have conversations 100%. That they definitely don't want, primarily the government or anybody else to get access to. So it's going to be really attractive for them. And I think that one other thing that is where it really becomes dangerous is that the most dangerous people already are super savvy on the internet, right? And we know that a digital threat is just as dangerous as a physical threat.
Exactly.
When more of the common person gets more savvy with technology, then that's when you do really have a even bigger problem, because right now where we can bank on the fact that they don't have as much internet knowledge, so.
Well, they're gaining it, and I think that's Tristan, go give your thoughts.
I'm kind of with Jack. So I feel like I don't think about it on the daily, but I do like the option to have certain messages encrypted. Also, just like with any other technology, it's another tool, so it can be used for good, but it can also be used for evil purposes. So, it's always a double-edged sword with this new technology or with people getting more access or more accustomed to the encryption services. I don't use it all the time, but certain conversations I prefer to have encrypted.
Hey, man, I need that. That's the sound of the encryption digital highways in your earlobes, man. I need that. I need that encryption. I wanted to open it up, and there's a lot of good points everybody's making that, sometimes you don't know. Ashley's point is like, you don't know. Is it really safe? Because there are some aspects, and I know some Apple hardcores will come at me, but I've read online that there are some actual holes in some of Apple's iMessage encryption, which is considered to be some of the top. And that's why everybody is really getting into Signal, because Signal is supposed to be, in some ways a little bit more superior than iMessage's encryption. WhatsApp is trying to include it. Like, encryption is becoming the name of the game because it knows that you're going to get the user base, and that's really all they care about. They could care less about if their user base is using it to, plot insurrection and sedition and
they just want
murder
the numbers.
Motherfuckers. They just want the numbers. That's honestly all they give shits about. But for us, when we talk about protect your digitalia, and we'll move off unless somebody has another comment, is that we should be aware of how to utilize these tools and how they are being utilized to protect information. And again, to everybody's point, if you need to have certain kinds of conversations, so people trying to talk about important shit on Clubhouse, that's fucking foolish, right? You want to have open conversations, but you think that your stuff's private if you're in a private room on Clubhouse? Hilarious. If you're going to be using any of these Facebook Messenger, any of these things like that, know that all of those things are tracked and archived. Just like they tracked and archived the Parler motherfuckers, they are doing the exact same thing. So when you watch these things, they're like, oh man, they getting them. Guess what? They got your shit the exact same way. So be aware and understand the apps that are available to you that allow you to have some kind of anonymity and some control over the ways you want to have these conversations. And Signal's one of them. So, you know, if white supremacists are using it, everybody should be using it to be able to protect the things that they want to keep private. You know what I mean? And also fuck white supremacists as well. Yeah.
That part. Yeah. I wanted to say another reason why I say that is because when, you know, if you see when people get locked up or arrested, you see they still find a way to get into, from a legal standpoint. Some of our old clients they've still been able to find anything they want out of their phone, even with their phone being locked. And if you come from a non-Apple world where you know, let's just say I've always been an Apple user, but I'm not tech as far as being able to understand everything about my phone.
Right.
So we get these clients that their phones are locked when they get arrested. They're unlocked and they're able to go through these phones. So I'm not saying about the encryption portion, but if you could get past the passcode, and I know for a fact that when my children try to get into my phone and they can't after a while, it's a situation where literally it locks itself. It disables.
An hour, 2 hours, 20 hours.
I don't have complete faith in the encryption process, because if you can get in my phone, regardless to a passcode that's supposed to be so secure, what else can you do?
Fair. All fair points, man. So soak all that up, y'all. Protect your digitalia. Understand the tools and resources available to you. We've been talking about Signal. We've been talking about encryption since like the first day we started. So it's not new if you've been an OG day one rider with us here at Digi Good Times. Shout out to DigiTribe again. So keep on being aware and abreast of the tools available to you. All right, let's keep it moving. We're going to get into, it's kind of like a lightning round kind of vibe. But basically, I want to get y'all reaction to some of the questions and some of the articles we kind of linked to in our agenda, which is also the DigiPack, which if you didn't already know, the DigiPack is available to DigiTribe subscribers. How do you become a DigiTribe subscriber? You join our mailing list. How do you join our mailing list? You go to digigoodtimes.com. Everything's there for you. You can also donate. You can also go to our shop. But guess what? Our shop's closed because we sold out. But if you want to get on the train, you can by joining and subscribing to all of our platforms. That's a plug. We're going to have a lot of those, but I just want you to know that I'm going to make sure we're plugging. The next conversation is on... Oh, maybe a shot. I'm gonna use a little soundbite. Let me use a little soundbite right here.
I want everybody in America to take a moment and look at this right here.
All right. So I got my guy who, he brings us in. He's going to bring us into this segment. So because we are musicians and we are techies and we are heavy much. That's not even a fucking word. We are very much kind of in the epicenter. We've been talking about that. We use that buzzword a lot, being in the epicenter and the cross sections and the crosshairs, whatever. I find it important, and I think it's one of the most kind of like engaging things to talk about. The two biggest industries in the world really is music and gaming. And so I want to talk more about where we see those worlds intersecting and what are some of you all's thoughts on where you see these two different spaces converging. And two things I'll bring up to allow the listeners to know what we're talking about. And you also can find these links and resources in the DigiPack. The question I ask is, what do you think is the future of live music in the music industry? What does the music industry look like 2021, 2022? And some of the things that we're seeing now is Bands in Town just recently launched a monthly subscription service bundle, which I've been talking about for the last couple of years was going to happen. The pandemic has exacerbated that now. But essentially, if you want to see live musicians now you got to pay. They're not just doing it for free on YouTube and Twitch anymore. Thank God. And I actually think it's cool that Bands in Town is launching this monthly subscription model. The second part that is going to give us more context and then allow you all to answer in on is that Sony, like the record label, Sony not, because Sony has so many different infrastructures, but this article is talking about Sony Music is launching an immersive music studio. So for those of you who don't know what that might mean, if you didn't pay attention to what Lil Nas X was doing last year or what Travis Scott was doing last year, guess that's what these moves are. Those were multi-million-dollar concerts that happen in game,
20 mil
that are going fucking out of here. You know what I'm saying? So those are two things that are happening and have been announced right now. What do you all think about where live music and what gaming might do to impact that and that intersection in 2020? I know that's a lot of questions, but feel free to pick whatever part of it that you want to answer. Anybody?
Well, I mean, you know, the tech industry is the music industry right now.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you know, a lot of headlines of, you know, bands and notable music execs selling their catalogs. You can see some clear shifts in, you know, industries and financial markets. And, you know, the power is where the money is. And right now the money is in tech. So, you know, what is going to continue the trend of what's been happening over the past 5 years, where music isn't necessarily like always at the forefront of what's driving engagement, but you can't have anything without music, right? So it's always going to be really important. It's going to always be important in film and video games and TV and everything. As far as the live experiences, just based off of the way that the industry is evolving, like, you know, VR, AR is the way. That's what is on the horizon. That's what is going to be the norm. So, you know, this era of us like primarily like looking at a screen on a device versus being immersed in a device, that's going to continue to change over the next few years. And this is just the infancy of what concert experiences and online experiences are going to be. And I think we talked about it in one of the episodes this season.
For sure.
I think it's interesting because the music industry was quicker to jump on to like streaming services, and when Apple came out with iTunes, digital entertainment, than the movie industry was. But the movie industry has had this lift from gaming for a while, realizing that gaming can be an attachment or an amendment to their product to give them a boost in sales when they own the IP property. You have a Lion King movie, you come up with the Lion King game. Like, movies have been doing that for so long, so to see music kind of lagging behind in that subject to the point where they even were behind sports, you know, because we've had esports, we have like complete tournaments now where they're like Super Bowls where they're getting just as much viewership as the actual Super Bowl. So music is just kind of like falling in line, like, oh, we're another industry that can be benefited or that can benefit from the power of gaming and technology. So yeah, it's only going to grow and keep getting bigger from here. They're going to find new ways to sell imaginary things to people. Like kids are literally buying things that they can't touch, feel, and only see when they turn on that game. So it's just going to be a cash cow as long as people have money to throw away.
Cash cow. What you think, Miss AshLee?
No, just to piggyback off of them, I think everything, I'm totally with both Tristan and Jack. At the end of the day, we all know that, you know, gaming especially has done way better since the pandemic began, but it also allowed everybody to see that, you know, this is something that's not going anywhere. It's not something that's going away anytime soon. And then we all know that with people being home from work, it definitely changes the dynamics of things and allows people to want to, you know, do more innovative things when it comes to gaming. I was watching an episode of Black Mirror last night, and it was the video game episode. Have you guys seen that one?
Yeah, that's a real crazy one.
Yeah, but I mean,
is the treadmill when on the treadmill?
No, Striking Vipers.
Yeah, Striking Vipers.
Oh, okay, yeah. Where they were like lovers in the video game. Oh yeah, that was very.
Don't be spoiling. Don't be spoiling.
It came out like 8 years ago, but cool. All right.
I'm just saying, man.
Right, sorry,
well,
sorry,
it's not really spoiling because we didn't tell you what actually happens in the end. So
yeah, I didn't give you the whole thing. All right, my bad.
But at the end of the day, you got to think like more people are wanting to escape reality. I mean, we've got a shit ton of terrible, crazy things happening. So whatever we can do to push, escape. So even looking at the Oculus, like we had this technology before, but people weren't really grasping it as much. Exactly. Everything's about time. So I think that it's going to do extremely well and going to take off insanely crazy. You look at the Oculus, it's already sold out. I tried to get my kids it for Christmas. It's sold out.
Yeah, everything related to gaming is going nuts. We're gonna talk more about that. I'm gonna give some more stats a little bit later because guess what? That's how important it is that it's on this motherfucker multiple times. Like we're gonna be an evangelist for making sure people in the content creation space, the creative space, understand how you can start leveraging, even if you're not gaming, how to leverage the tools in that world because that's just crucial. But we'll come back to that. So really dope stuff. My last thought to interject it because I think everything everybody said was fire. Is to pay attention to pay attention to crypto. We got, just to give you a little sneak peek, guess what? That's going to be one of our big episodes at the top of season 4. That's all I can give you right now because season 4, we coming with it. But we're going to be talking in like very legit terms with a Bitcoin expert soon. But crypto's going nuts if you don't already know that, and you probably do. But we've been talking about that since 2014. Had we all invested in 2014, we probably ought to be millionaires. But that's neither here nor there. Crypto as it relates to music, however, though, is just starting to break ground. A lot of artists, they create crypto or they partner themselves. T.I. got in trouble earlier this year because he did some stuff or his money was funny with some crypto stuff. So the legitimacy is still being worked out, but crypto is being authenticated in front of our eyes, meaning like it's being legitimized and being strengthened like literally every second of the day, right? So it's not going backwards. And so artists can understand how to utilize and empower themselves using blockchain and crypto for financing and creating their own financial ecosystems. Now, that might be getting a little bit too heavy for y'all, but just know that is, I believe, what's coming soon. I believe Drake's going to have Drake fucking coin. And if you get Drake coin, real talk, you might get a discount in the things you purchase within the Drake coin ecosystem or the Travis coin ecosystem, because artists are got to find ways to get more money because they aren't making money because nobody.
Hey, and if you remember, Nipsey was working on a cryptocurrency.
Come on, talk about it now.
You know what I'm saying? So
Peace
like
to the
that
God.
was that. Yeah, so he was already working on that with I can't remember, it was some cats in Europe. Was it like Sweden, Switzerland,
I
or
don't
something
remember
like
who,
that?
but I
yeah.
do remember that he was working.
But
on
it's
that.
definitely it's definitely coming, man. So
that's something to be aware of, y'all. You know what I mean?
What else we got, man?
All right, next up, weed. You know, actually, I think I got
You said a ooh wee?
What?
Ooh wee. I got ooh wee.
Bruh.
Crystal stick cut, slash down, tree branch to the right.
You know what I mean? So it's that kind of vibe. The greenery, man. The grass is getting greener out here, man.
And we all got green on right now.
You know, we got the
what I
green.
mean?
That's that
I'm
military
in the
green.
forest.
You know, we
it's
got
foggy in the back.
that ill colorway again coming to y'all
all
soon.
black.
To all supporters. You know, and then Cope and Tristan all black. You know, we got the juxtaposition. It's fine. We got the juxtaposition. You know what I mean? But let me read a little bit about what's at stake here and what, just because I think it's important to have more details. People are like, oh, well, they're going to pass weed legislation. It's like, well, it's going to actually take steps. So let's look at people asking. We'll talk about GA where we are, you know what I mean? But you guys can look up and research where you are. And the MORE Act is probably the thing that's the most important to be paying attention to right now. The MORE Act is a new piece of cannabis legislation being considered by Congress, which would bring federal policy changes to cannabis. The MORE Act, which would seek to decriminalize, let's look at this, possession of small amounts of cannabis, remove cannabis from Federal Controlled Substances Act, and expunge nonviolent federal cannabis convictions. So here's what that means. If they were to start that, which would Georgia and some of these more conservative places, this is where they would go first to pass this. This would be passed on the federal level. Once this passes on the federal level, this would then be like the slow moving into recreational use. Whereas in New York, Cuomo is trying to go straight no chaser with recreational because they've already decriminalized it, right? So it's going to require on the federal level the MORE Act passing for other states to soften, and then we get to the space of recreational. However, New York got that shit. Cuomo said he ready to fire that off this year. So what do y'all think about that? Y'all heading to NYC, New Amsterdam, if that pops off in 2021? And what do you think about the growth and expansion of cannabis and cannabis in the stock industry? I opened it up.
So I'll touch bases on that real
in.
quick. I'm from New York, of course. So
right, that's what's get it in.
Watching so many of my people and friends, family, just different people getting locked up over it, and then like this coming, like we knew this was coming. We knew.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
mm-hmm.
we all knew this. From Cali to New York to here,
mm-hmm.
this was something that was bound to happen. And as soon as they can make $1 off of it, or they can figure out a way to change the dynamics of something to benefit financially off of it,
mm-hmm.
of course, why not?
Mm-hmm.
In Atlanta, speaking from a legal standpoint, with some of our clients. They have changed the laws a lot here, whereas you just get a fine and have to take some classes. So I mean, it's begin.
But isn't it just Fulton though? It's not everywhere in Atlanta though, right?
Yeah, it's just Fulton.
It's just Fulton.
It's just Fulton County, but you have to.
You step in Cobb.
Yeah, right, exactly. So that's where
get on your job.
Right. But the thing is, you got to think the people, the lawmakers or the individuals that did this, they know that Fulton County is one of the biggest counties to be impacted, criminal wise, by this.
100%.
You're not going to get that changed completely quickly.
Yeah.
Until these
piece by piece.
These other counties can make their money. So of course, why would it not just be Fulton County? It's not going to be anything else. You look at Loeffler and different ones that have stocks in certain things, or they're cashing out on these different things. So until they can profit off it, why would they want to change what they're not going to make money off of until they can make money?
Yeah, I mean, I like this article too because it was written right before the
it was
runoff.
like the day. It was like the day before.
So they didn't know that the Democrats control the House, the Senate, and So one thing that I do like, it says that the MORE Act would expunge all nonviolent criminal charges.
It's a big deal. That's a big deal.
That's a lot of people back on the streets, right?
That's a big
After
deal.
that, you know what I mean? Like people who wouldn't be able to vote before, now they're back on the streets. It's like, oh,
more Democratic votes.
I'm back.
Yep.
People locked up for years for having like bags,
Right.
People have died in jail, being locked up for long periods of time
for weed.
For this,
it's ridiculous. It's disgusting.
Yeah, they don't need to just let them out. They need to give them payback.
Right. They should get so. Actually, I forgot what city, but there was a city. Well, if I'm correct, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a city that just expunged like 300,000. I want to
San Francisco.
Yeah, I thought that was over there.
I think it was San Francisco. It was somewhere on the West Coast, but it was like 300,000 people just got their stuff expunged. But then they were like, there was a program, and I can't remember the state, but there's a program where they were actually going to give a certain percentage of like business grants and stuff like that to people coming out so they could get into the weed business. I don't know if it was in San Francisco or not, but I do remember reading something about that. Sorry, I can't give y'all more clarity.
Yeah, maybe in Seattle.
It might have been in Seattle.
Yeah, I think just to round it all out, I think with so many moving parts, right? You think the people who have contracts with the prisons, basically these contracts with these prisons, they were told that they're going to have a certain amount of prisoners. So they have to fulfill those contracts.
Right.
Then they got to figure out what they're going to do when those contracts end and actually switch over industries so that they can make the same amount of money that they were making before. And then dealing with not only releasing people, but figuring out incentive ways to get them paid, legislation to get them paid and to get them back on track. That's a whole nother decade's worth of, figuring things out within itself. So, it's a chapter in the book of the inevitable, but it's going to be, maybe a few chapters, actually.
Step by step.
It's going to be a few chapters before you see the full change. But probably by the end of this decade, I think everything will turn over, but it's going to take all the years of this decade for it to happen.
I'm so bothered though that it takes them like 2 seconds to monetize off of something, but it takes them 50 years to change these laws that they created to, penalize these people for doing the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's those contracts. They're waiting for those contracts to end.
Right. What you think? Tristan, you already said. Yeah. So, okay, you already said. So, basically, this is another place to pay attention to because, again, this is our trends and predictions. What we see are casting our vision and ourselves into later on in 2021,
I got
2022.
a thought real quick.
Yeah.
So, what if would you guys ever think that they would possibly do something almost like, I wouldn't say like cotton picking, but like with the marijuana industry and jail? Or the prison system?
I'm sure they'll try. Yeah,
like on some farming.
You mean like them, like
they own the
sharecropping
land and have the prisoners farm the land for cheap.
That would be so. I think that could happen.
In Louisiana, you'll see them on the side of the road.
Wait, you're saying you want to see people in prison be used to make?
No, she doesn't want to see that.
No, I don't want to see that.
Do you think that will happen?
I mean, that would be a total slap in the face for people that have been arrested for.
Right, to then go to jail to sharecrop fucking weed. Yeah.
I mean, but you gotta find something to make money off of.
Jesus.
That would be one of the perfect ones. Am I wrong?
No, you're
you're not wrong.
No,
I'm just
you're not
thinking
wrong.
this
It's
is
just a
this
crazy
is fucked
scenario,
up.
but they do fucked up shit like that. So
but I feel like they would do something like that.
Oh, yeah.
that's fair. That's fair. Prison industrial complex don't give no
If
fucks.
this happens, if that ever happens, just say I said it first.
She's like, just remember, we got it. This
That's what
is
you want credit
recorded.
for?
This is
That's what you
recorded.
want credit for?
This is all recorded. Like, we got this. This is documentation.
Yeah, I called that.
I called that weed sharecropping.
You see them on the side of the road? All right.
That's hilarious. So pay attention to that, y'all. Cannabis stocks, we'll maybe at some point we'll get an expert. We will actually get somebody who's trading in that world, who is on the business end. Not just like, we might have somebody come in on the, on the flavor side, but on the business end, I think that's important because that is a space that's moving. And we should be paying attention to, especially because Black people are the ones that are most disenfranchised by it, but also the ones who have been innovating and making that shit incredible for forever. So we should be the ones that are monetizing from it as well. Moving on as we kind of like round out this, man. So we already talked about video gaming. So I want to bring back that, and we'll end kind of talking about the future of podcasting, which is important because that's what we're bringing to you right now, right? So we should be up on the trends and knowing where this thing is going that we are putting our, blood, sweat, and tears into. So one point about video gaming, and I just want to, I want to emphasize why you should be paying attention to this, even if you don't game. That's the most crucial part. Because I get so many people like, I don't really care about gaming like that, and I'm not in the game. And it's like, that's like saying, that's like again, Bitcoin had an explosive growth this year, so I'll use that as an example. That's like saying, man, I don't crypto, man, so I don't give a fuck about that. Well, that's crazy to not pay attention to something that's like potentially changing the way we kind of transact in society. And video games.
Yeah, in this society.
Yeah, in this society, right? And video games is doing the same thing in the digital space. So I just want to give some stats, and I'll open it up, and then we'll end with our final segment, and then we'll get into our plugs of the week. Plugs of 2021, I should say. Video game consumption and spending increased 27%. It's the thing that last year in 2020. So it's had the highest percentage growth out of anything. That more than sports and more than movies, of course, because the movie industry took a major hit, more than any other consumable media piece of content in 2020. Like it's like it blew them out the water. That's one stat. The other stat is there's this Spanish, and this is something that we posted on another plug in our DigiGood Tribe Facebook group, which is really where we give you the sauce daily. Like we're curating and combing through the catacombs of the digital archives to bring you like the important, potent, dope, progressive, engaging shit. So if you decide to go into the cesspool of Facebook, and trust me, man, we all got our feet in there getting dirty. That is where we're bringing you some important and really cool stuff. We got other places too. Discord also is where we plan to hopefully grow in 2021. We also growing in Clubhouse. That's your second plug during this podcast. As we get more efficient with the plugs. The second part, but I did want to bring up and then let y'all talk about is the Twitch streamer. There's a Spanish Twitch streamer. His name is the Greg F. And he's the first person to break the record for concurrent live stream viewing of 2.4 million viewers during his 7-hour live stream. Let me break that down for y'all, man. Let me break that down for why that's fucking crucial, right?
Not easy at all.
Right. So let me break that down for you. Here's why that's important, and I want to get y'all reaction, and we'll move on. 2.4 million. Now, when you go think about Nielsen, I broke this down again on the Facebook group. Nielsen's stats or whatever for your top show, they average anywhere from 9 to 10 million. This is for the big tippy top, like Big Bang Theory, which is the most trash show in the world, but they got 20 million people who listen, watch it or whatever. Big Bang Theory, no shots if you like Big Bang Theory. Sorry, but not sorry. But they like that Big Bang Theory, right? 10 million. I don't know why I think it's like called the Gang Bang Theory. It feels like that's what it should be called. Anyway, sorry. That's a tangent. Weird tangent. Yeah, man. This 2021, man. I'm just giving y'all a real deal. You know what I'm saying? We're not toning down. We're not toning down. Okay, so anyway, I'm in my bag. Okay, so essentially Nielsen 10 million, right? That's for that 30-minute hour viewing block, and that's pretty good, right? But as a show, if you go look at Nielsen ratings for a show, you'll see that those numbers dip per episode. So they go 10, the next one might be 8, the next one might be 5, the next one might be 2. This man, if you were to actually do the calculations, even though, and those are different people too, but throughout a 7 hour, so 7 hour time frame, 2.4 million people consistently stay during that time frame. So the way Nielsen is, those are the same people who are coming every episode on Nielsen, right? It's the same audience that watch episode 1 and watch episode 2. So think about that in live streaming terms, that there is such a consistency and a loyalty that they'll stay for 7 hours the same way they would for a TV show, which most people will not stay consistently with a TV show. You'll watch the first episode, you might not watch the second, you might come back to it. So what I'm saying is the growth and the potential and the audience and Twitch is just getting started. And so if you are interested in being on the forefront of the media revolution, which Twitch is a part of bringing to the world, I have to give you all of the advice in the world to definitely get on Twitch. Find something that you can watch. There's music, there's chess, there's more than just video games. You can even become a content creator on there. I can't be more of an evangelist enough for what I believe is the future of media. So with all that mouth yapping, what do y'all think? What do y'all got to say on this subject? If you got something to say on it.
I mean, you did say a lot, but
I did.
You know, man, we on a magic carpet ride, man, with Princess Jasmine and Aladdin, man. Wow. It's a whole new world, you know, and so you know, that's just a part of it. It's like pay attention to what's going on around you. You know, industries are changing, everything is changing. It's not just COVID, but it's sorry, I got somebody in the background talking, but you know what I mean? It's not just COVID, facts, but it's the world is changing, you know, and this is just a part of it. So that's the only thing I got to add to that.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, it's gonna be a growth, and then all the industries around it that are supported, like the computer industry, PCs and Macs. So I'm happy my stock goes up.
Right.
They're all going to keep going up. These graphic GPUs, so Intel's
going crazy.
And honestly, when the gaming industry and the tech for gaming industry gets better, the tech for the film industry gets better
too.
Because we use the same graphics cards, we have the same processing. So yeah, I'm with it, and it's gonna keep going up. I don't know if the comparison to 2.4 million over 7 hours being the same to a TV show weekly, because if you were into the TV show and it just was straight through like Netflix, I'm sure it would be different than the way it drops off as a per week episode.
But I'm talking about consistent. I'm talking about
right.
From
so
end to end, though.
If he would have did an hour the first week, an hour the second week, because sometimes the second week people don't come back.
Right. That's what I mean. That's what I'm comparing to. Not Netflix. Like Netflix is different. Netflix is designed in that way.
But I would compare it to a binge show because they had to binge that 7 hours straight.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not a weekly where they could go away.
People, I'm telling you, like, even from, I mean, and mom would know, but it's hard to keep people on. Like, I'll get like certain people that come on the Twitch on my stream and they'll watch because they're like, oh, a girl's playing COD. Oh, they're playing, she's really playing Warzone? Like, what's good? But then it's like, sometimes I'll be like, all right, let me just move on to something else. It's hard to get that attention. Even then, I notice like if somebody is in the chat box talking to me, they'll like move out if I don't talk back fast enough, or if I don't have my headphones attached, they're not talking back. It's so many dynamics to it. Like you got to be interesting as fuck to keep that attention.
Right.
A gamer, most gamers are either ADHD or we just got our mind all over the place. We don't want to like watch you for hours unless we're on YouTube, you know. You look at these kids too. A lot of those people that are watching are children. You look at like my nephews, for instance, they watch me on Twitch from YouTube. Like they go onto the TV and they will pull up YouTube and they will watch me play. Auntie, we're supporting you. So, and some people don't have the ability to even watch live. So you got to think about that too. So at the end of the day, that's amazing that he's able to keep that attention. Even with video, you know, you edit, you know, the whole process. Like, you know that you have to edit a specific way in order to keep those transitions going, so people are still interested. You're not going to just have somebody in a on an interview scene for more than 10 minutes. I mean,
100%. And I think that's a That's a beautiful point that you made, actually, about like how hard it is, because that's kind of what I'm driving home is he's not an entire network. Like this is one or two people, and he's running a live broadcast that's rivaling. Maybe it's not Netflix level yet, man, but that's because Twitch's adoption is just, they haven't even seen their glory days yet. Like it's just starting to turn up. I think they're going to double or triple their growth probably this year again. So like in a couple of years, they will potentially have the same rival of a Netflix, and I believe they're going to start pulling from that world too, that they're going to bring in these content creators and be like, all right, we'll give you a show too, or we'll let you we'll live stream, or we'll potentially just add a potential channel that has the best of that world into those live stream. There will be potentially like deals Netflix and other film companies will broker with live streamers, just because they know that they got the audience. They go on where the audience is. You know what I'm saying? So
where the money resides.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So,
and also, did you see what he was doing when he brought in the viewers?
Yeah, Fortnite. He was introducing them to his Fortnite skin, which is a whole nother kind of like...
Included Marshmallow.
Jeez.
Do you,
Travis Scott. You know what I mean? So it's all these names put together.
Yeah. Remember when they were like literally not paying people? I mean, they're still not doing it, but not paying people for their dances and letting them, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Fortnite is so disrespectful, but it's a game that, and I'll say this, Fortnite is one of those games I had to show my daughter. I was like, sweetheart, I want you to try to play Call of Duty, right? She's 30. Well, she just turned 14 today.
Happy birthday.
It's crazy.
14?
Yeah.
Happy birthday. You wouldn't even know
part.
it. You wouldn't even know it. You wouldn't even know it.
Okay.
There it is.
No, but I was like, I let her play, and she could play like it was. She grasped on so fast. The games, even then, they're evolving. Like Fortnite is literally training these children to play these other games, Call of Duty and all this other stuff. Like they're exactly the same, from the parachute jump out to the guns to even then. It's the same game, but it's the exact same, just without the gore. At the end of the day, Fortnite is one of those games that like anybody can play. I know A&Rs that are addicted to this game, and they're grown in their 40s, 50s, and they can play this game, and they like the game because of the gore-less factor.
Right. You can just have fun with it. Yeah.
So you look at that, and he's probably got the majority of those streams were children that were up late because they're in virtual school, which also plays a major portion or a major part of that. I mean, this he was smart. And for him to introduce a skin, like Tristan said, was out of this world.
Gangbusters.
It's like Travis Scott all over again.
Right. Who knows how much money he made?
I tuned into the Travis Scott performance. It was
incredible.
For me, I don't even like kid games. My kids have got me addicted to Fortnite. Just like
that's the main thing you stream, right? Isn't that what you mainly stream?
Yeah, Uncharted, Call of Duty, and Fortnite. But when I say that, it truly, at the end of the day, is like, man, that game has so many ways that they can grow. But that concert with Travis Porter, I said Travis Porter.
Travis Porter. Whoa, throwback A-Town.
Travis Scott, amazing. Like when I say the graphics, down to the graphics, the lights, like, oh my God, it was just so dope.
Incredible.
It was so simple too. Like, who wants to be in reality when all this is going on?
Right, especially now. And does peak concurrent viewers means that all those 2.4 million watch for all 7 hours, or is that the number? Are you sure? Because it said peak concurrent.
But peak concurrent, that means like, and that mean like...
It was concurrent, like it was consistent.
Yeah.
The highest number of viewers during a live stream.
Peak
but when they come in, they can sit. So some people just sit. Like some people, I know people that come in just to support me, and they will literally have their phone sitting there. I know a guy, he doesn't play video games at all. He will come in and he will sit there and he will watch.
Because what they're saying is like...
They're saying at its peak, it was at 2.4. There was 2.4 million viewers at one time at the peak.
Right, but when they use the word concurrent, though, that's where the concurrent comes in. That means like consistently throughout the stream.
Concurrent means at the same time.
At the same time. Well, I'm going to say from my standpoint, and knowing from the Twitch world, because I'm on it, and I know Iman is, like those people, like those viewers were there for a long amount of time. How they measure, even how they measure the affiliate program, you have to have them on for a specific amount of time. They have to communicate with you, so they're consistently in the chat box. If they're not there, they don't really count as a viewer consistently. So he had to have something close to that, even if it wasn't that number. He had to have something very close to that for it to be counted.
Right. Like basically, I mean, we getting into the minutia of whatever, but on Twitch to what everything else she's saying, like he's in that frame, that time, he's in that number frame because it's not like all of a sudden at 1 hour he goes to 2.4 million. You get what I'm saying? He has to keep that number consistently throughout those hours for him to get to 2.4 million. It's not like you go from 1.2 million the first hour, 1.3 million the second hour, 1.4. You get what I'm saying? Like there is a consistency throughout Twitch, and that's the reason why they're highlighting it. They wouldn't highlight it if it was like, oh, he did 2.4, because there's a lot of more people on YouTube. Yeah, on YouTube who are doing way more. There's people who stream way higher numbers on YouTube. They're talking about the consistency throughout that time frame. So that's all we're highlighting. But either way, it's on its come up, regardless of whether this is just a small blip on the screen. It's on its way. So. We're going to transition to our last major subject, and then we'll get into our plugs of the week. And this is talking about the future of podcasting, man. I mean, and that's where we are. We're bringing you these audio, video vibes. You know, again, we live on YouTube's. Digital Good Times is available on your YouTubes and your Spotifys and all of your DSP platforms. And I want to talk about something that's been in the news that is a little bit bubbling, and that we can kind of project ourselves into the future of, if not this year, next year, where podcasting is going. And so this quote reads, in the future, many podcasts may be exclusive to specific platforms and may also come with a subscription fee. And Apple could establish itself as one of the first companies to have a dedicated podcasting service. So this article, Mac Rumors, and they've been talking about this for a couple of days. Apple essentially has already launched like their mammoth subscription, one subscription to rule them all type shit, right? So they've already put that in your ear. They got the health thing that's going crazy, everybody's loving. So it would be nothing for them to be like, oh, wait, are you a hardcore podcaster? For $1.99, you now get exclusive access to our top tier whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop podcasters that they're going to bring out and unveil, which would then be a windfall for the rest of the industry. Spotify doing the same thing. There's been talks that Spotify is in the talks of doing the same thing, as well as Amazon making a lot of big plays. So I wanted to discuss that, and I also want to discuss where do we see the future of podcasting with these resurgence of, well, not even resurgence, the new era of audio chat. It's not new, but it's like old becoming new again, right? What do we think that impact is going to have on podcasting in this year and the years to come? I want to open it up to you if y'all got any thoughts.
I feel like everybody, I mean, even like, look at, like, I just feel like it's inevitable. Like, there's no way to fight it.
Mm-hmm.
People can listen from their cars. I don't even like radio, and y'all know that I come from a radio background.
Mm-hmm.
I hate radio, actually. So to have a situation where we can listen on the go consistently, that's always been a convenient thing for. I'm a mom. Most of my hours, most of anyone's hours, are spent in the car, in our vehicles. We're going to work. We're going to the market. We're going to go get stuff for our children. You know, all types of things. So at the end of the day, it's like one of those situations where, how's that not going to be something that is going to really take off and mean the world to everyone? At the end of the day, we can do this all from our phones. I mean, we have, if you can access it from your phone, it's going to take off, because it's, number one, it's going to be always consistent. It's going to always be the most convenient thing. Mm-hmm. And us humans, we like convenience.
Convenience is king and queen.
And then you look at Sirius satellite radio and all these things. You can always access even NPR. I would go into the office and literally, I'm listening to NPR all day because I'm an NPR junkie. Mm-hmm. So you got to think about the consistency and ability to be able to listen to these things, whether it's, you know, I've just been teaching myself about investments, and I've been investing quite a bit, opened a TD account, got Robinhood now, Coinbase. So at the end of the day, like, you got to think of anything that's convenient that we can put our hands on immediately and we can access whenever we want to, especially from the comfort of our own beds, our homes. Why would we not? I'm on a road trip. I'm going to be listening to a podcast, whether it's about God or it's about a story for my children that I can't hear on the radio. Yeah. The variety matters. The versatility matters. So at the end of the day, we're going to always go for things that we can access whenever we want to. We like choice. We like options.
Big facts.
Yeah, I think along with that, you know, content, having access to whatever content, entertainment, we're at a place where obviously it's more accessible than it's ever been. I think that the podcasting industry doesn't have the luxury that some other industries like the music industry and the gaming industry and the movie industry all have an older version.
Right.
Podcasting that never had that. So creating the structure for what it looks like for podcasts to be able to survive, right? The creators to be able to survive. And then for industries to get the or platforms to get the content to the listeners. This is just a play in that book along with what they're doing with movies and music and everything else right now. So like you said, if a company like Apple has a subscription to basically all content, then it only makes sense that podcasting is going to be a part of that.
Yeah,
100%.
I also agree that podcasting came around, like you said, at a time where access to technology and to be able to create content was it's the easiest it's ever been.
Right.
So if the film industry would have started when Netflix was around and you had Roku and people were able to film a movie on their phone and then upload it and have millions of people watch it, they would have had to go through these same kind of learning lessons that the podcast industry is going through. And with Clubhouse, the Hotline 2.0,
right?
But everybody jump on it. Everybody being able to,
I remember that in high school.
Everybody being able to project their voice, and people who are influencers, people who want to be influencers, and then people who want to gather information and just get knowledge, they're all on it. So you got people who are just talking just to talk because they're like, oh, this is what I've always wanted to do. And now I have a voice, quote unquote. So then the market becomes oversaturated, and then we have that trying to streamline things down again. It's like that ebb and flow.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a great point. Like basically what we're looking at, I believe to what everybody's saying is we haven't reached the tipping point, but we're getting close. The infrastructure is getting there. Two of the plays that I can see, just to give my prediction based on what everybody's saying and what I've been seeing, is subscriptions are coming this year because they want to set the precedent. Amazon is setting itself up for that. Apple Music, as we already said, is setting themselves up, and Spotify setting themselves up, which means that a lot of podcasts are gonna have to tighten up. So if you're just doing a podcast because you think it's fucking cool, that's cool. But guess what? How are you going to be convinced to be brought into this network that they're going to be selecting for sure? Because it's going to be a selection of podcasts that get brought into this cadre of we're going to put you in the premium tier. So how will you separate yourself from the premium tier and everybody else? That's going to have to be what people are going to have to decide. The other part is because these subscription services are going to be like early adoption, there's going to have to be some kind of innovation in how you get people to buy into that. So subscriptions are going to be that necessary infrastructure that the industry needs. Okay.
It's gonna be hard too, though, for these big industries like Apple, who's had the Apple Podcast app for so long.
Yeah, and it's been free.
It's been free to convince people who have been getting it for free to start paying. And it is something necessary, especially for like smaller podcasts, to start making money. But most of the podcasts have had to figure out, just like with other industries, how to get paid, even though they're not getting paid from the platforms that they're putting their content on. So they've been saying, hey, we have 20,000 downloads a week. You have sponsors, and then these companies like iHeart are like, yeah, we got you. And so they've been making money that way. So it's interesting,
the big boys.
Right, to see like if it has to go to paid subscription in order for the big boys to make money, because usually things don't change unless the big boys are affected. Right.
And I think that they do. If you notice all the money that Spotify's been throwing at it, you better believe that they're going to need something that's going to offset that, to buy Joe Rogan, to buy the princesses, to buy all that stuff. Because we know that Spotify doesn't make profits off of music. They just don't. They get their money off of and the publishing companies that are consolidating like Voltron and buying up all these major legendary artists. They about to be the juggernaut / Debo, RIP. To our elder Debo, they're about to legit be on that, taking and getting their money from these tech companies. So yeah, I agree with everybody saying that the big dogs got to make it move, and I think they are, because Apple was the big dog, and like when they move the industry, the rest of the industry moves. And Spotify is making enough aggressive plays. They're putting so much money into it, they got to get a return. If you're putting over $1 billion into it, how are they gonna get a return on their investment? It's not coming from Spotify because they are barely breaking even. So it's like they see they're building this in front of us so that we can see like, hey, we're giving you all this content, but guess what? You like these premium? You like this Michelle Obama show? You like this Princess Harry shit? Well, you can check it out and you can get these special episodes that are going to be $1.99, whatever. Clubhouse, my idea on that or where that's going when Twitter launches that, just to, again, we're trying to project y'all into 2021. This is what we do, vision casting, digital good times. I believe Clubhouse is going to pull the full finesse on everybody that if they make the recording feature available and easy access to people, they may just put a recording button that if you want access to, you pay a premium fee, because that's really what you're wanting, right? How do you oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna say that they're definitely going to, not to cut you off, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I honestly feel like very soon, because they've already gone past that number mark. I think they passed that million member mark.
Yeah, I think they passed that a while ago.
Right. I remember like, hey, y'all, like, yo, listen. So I feel like it's a situation where it's going to be monetized very soon. I feel like people are abusing the platform so much, and it's driving away a lot of the people that make the content more important and makes more sense, and the money people. So I feel like it puts people in a place that they're like not as comfortable to get on the platform and talk, because they're like, well, we got these people in here that are like not like us and don't deserve this information. So I feel like it just comes to a point where it's just so much ignorance that has kind of taken over the app, that it's going to be I think that the people that are already members, is going to change the dynamics for them as far as allowing them to have more say in things and, you know, get better discounts and things like that. But definitely they know what their power is. They know that it's powerful for people to be on this app, and it gives people that don't have a voice. It gives cappers the ability to finesse.
Cappers.
Okay, I'm telling you. So
App enabling.
completely. So it's like just one of that's a whole verse, cap enabling. But at the end of the day, it's a situation where you give these people that don't have a voice, and that you got to look at the trolls, right? The trolls only became anything because people were allowing that behavior and allowing these people to flourish, because trolling back in the day was not it. So you got kicked off, you got in some way. So at the end of the day,
get rewarded from it like you can now. You can blow up off of being a troll.
Right. We used to have this thing when I was like maybe 20. I was in college the first time, and we used to do this thing called Tiny Chat. I don't know if you guys remember Tiny Chat.
Of course.
We had like an American Idol or Tiny Chat version of American Idol, and we would kick people down when they were terrible.
Right.
Like we would uplift the people that were like really like serious about their craft, and like really like push them and stuff like that on Twitter. That's when Twitter was really, really, really popping. So at the end of the day, it's just one of those situations where you just look at the dynamics of a situation. They have so much room to grow, especially with like, even then I found the investment stuff that the different ones that I found that were like money makers for me. Like I invested like $500 in like a matter of 2 weeks into specific stocks, and I got a lot of them from that group. I was on at like 3:00 in the morning. It's a space for creatives, especially where we feel kind of comfortable to go on late at night. It's just that we get kind of annoyed with some of the groups that come on there, and they're just talking about things that are not, it just doesn't make sense. So for me, I think that to end it and not to rant on, because y'all know I do that. I'm just gonna say at the end of the day, it's so amazing and beautiful for growth for them. I think that they have the ability to make so much money off of this app. Even though it started free, it showed people that they have power when they don't have power. It gave everybody who would never be able to be in that position it's allowing them to get followers on Instagram, allowing them to get followers on Twitter. And social media is a drug. Clout is a drug.
100%. So, I agree. I think, as we wrap this subject up and we'll end on our plug love, I agree. Clubhouse has got a lot of awesome things going for it. My main key point that I want to say to content creators and everyone using it is to find the ways for you to be able to monetize and leverage it outside of Clubhouse, because everything's all cool when you're in their platform. But as we said at the top of this, right, like if they're controlling the spaces, if you can get booted out or removed, depending on what the public opinion might be, then being able to have more autonomy and control over your platforms, which is hard to say, right? Because you can't own the hosting, right? But it's important to make sure you got your own website, make sure you have your own content distribution stuff. Like, just make sure you have more ownership, because again, Clubhouse is a fad. It could be dead by the end of this year. We don't know. It might be amazing. It might go crazy. Twitter might come and dead it once Spaces drops, because Spaces coming later this year as well. The point is that, and you will see us get way more active, and that's some of the goals. Again, giving a little bit away, season 4, we got way more we got planned with Clubhouse and things like that to bring chats, live dynamic chats. My point of why it intersects with podcasting is basically live podcasting, right? So podcasting, as far as in the traditional premium version of it, is evolving, and it's going to continue to evolve, as we just talked about, because people will have to meet the demand and meet the quality requirements that these premium services are going to ask for. Then you're going to have more casual, which is going to be Clubhouse style. You know what I'm saying? So get in, understand it. If you don't know more about that, holler at us. We have invites. If we have enough, we will definitely try to get those off to y'all. So holler at us via all of our platforms.
Can I tell you how Clubhouse tricked me on my invites?
No. How did they do that?
Well, today it sent me a link, and it was like, oh, you can invite these people. So sometimes it gives you a link where you're able to like literally click and you can invite without using your invites. It made me use all 4 of my invites.
Oh no.
And I didn't even know I had them.
You can go back, and I think you can request to like unsend if that person isn't accessible and things like that. But there's no plug for Clubhouse. They ain't paying us again. You know what I'm saying? Like, we weren't figure out how to get money off of them, not, you know what I'm saying, the other way around. But our finale, this is our season 3 finale. So I wanted to end it special, and we're going to end it with, of course, our plugs and our picks. So that's our pick plugs. We're going to do something special this time. This is us manifesting what you all as an individual. So it could be other people's stuff if you want, but mainly like, what do you've got coming in 2021 that people should be looking forward to, whether it's a project, whether it's business, whether it's whatever. What do you want to project and let people know about to look forward to from you as a part of the Digital Good Times team in 2021? And anybody who wants to start, feel free. If you
Yeah, bro, I can't wait to hear your picks, because you're so stylistic. Like, literally, like, I look at some of your stuff and I'm just like, man, dude, like, this dude is way ahead of his time, and his style is insane. And Tristan,
I appreciate that.
when I look at like all of like Tristan's like film work, and like watching him as a best friend like for over 10 years and watching his growth, oh my God. And then Iman, like looking at you, because I have to say this is this final episode for season 3, so I just had to break it down.
Break it down.
Mama vibes. Iman, just watching you and like seeing you baby your brand and like really take care of your brand and like not stop at anything and loving the fuck out of your brand. Like, it's literally your baby. Is so amazing to see and to watch, the growth in this, and to watch
much love,
much things to come, and like just hear you talk about that is just really dope.
I love, much appreciated.
Well, damn, she just plugged everybody, so we're good. We good.
I guess yeah, man.
Who gonna plug her?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, AshLee has been amazing energy and necessary. Every time we do Digital Good Times, if y'all been riding with us from the beginning, we always make sure, however we have to do it, that there is always a balance of having our women represented and having a voice. And so, like, she's been that very important and crucial voice, and we're gonna always continue that. That's just how we get down. Like, we're not. We are always based in making sure we're representative, inclusive, all of that. You know what I mean? So she has been that wonderful energy, necessary and needed. So yeah, we're bigging that up, but this is not just big up. It's like plugs. Like, what do you got going? I mean, I'll start it since I appreciate the big ups, but this is actually the time to plug the things that you have going on, because people are going to listen to this. So I'll start off. All right, at 2021, you already know what Digital Good Times is coming. We're going to take a brief little break. We'll be back season 4. We'll announce that. You'll have those times coming to you very soon. I am dropping a 2-piece EP because I'm not giving the DSPs really more than that because they don't deserve it and we can't make money off the music. So I'm going to drop a 2-piece later on in the spring. That's going to be pretty impactful. I'm dropping a beat tape also soon. Of course, I'm going to have mixes coming. Of course, we got some really unique and dynamic Clubhouse content. I'm also gonna be doing some collabs. Me and Jack got something cooking, not just musically, but also some really dope content we want to come out and present to y'all hopefully in 2021. And I think that's it. I can't think of. Oh, I'm bringing back my Twitch, so I'm about to go hard on my live. I'm going hard in live streaming in 2021. So y'all, that's why I'm an evangelist for it because we about to get it in. And that's all. That's about all I can think of. So. That's my self plugs for Small 2021. Be on the lookout because we just getting started.
A collab with Jack. Oh.
Yeah, we got stuff cooking. We got stuff cooking. We got stuff cooking. All right.
No, my son boy said he created everything.
Chef.
So for those who didn't get a chance to check it out, I just dropped my first single in a while, called Other Power. So that is streaming on most platforms right now. Check that out.
All the DSPs.
It's gonna be more music coming out. A lot of stuff I've been working on over the past few years finally is at the place. I very much took a Life of Pablo approach as you will, where very much this whole process has been involving feedback from the people, which is different than how I made art in the past. I was very much just like, I don't give a fuck what nobody else think about my music. I'm just gonna make what I like. And I think that has its pros and cons, but I feel really good about involving the people in this project, and I feel really confident that the people are gonna like this music a lot. So that's pretty much the main thing for me. And there's gonna be a lot of stuff that follows. And then I'm just kind of off of like it's like 2021 it's hard for me to grasp the concept of years right now because people kind of wore out 2020.
Yeah.
And for the past few years, it's been like, this is my year. This is my year. So like, I don't know. I'm just on like time right now. Like, I don't care about a year. You know what I mean? Like, we just in a time. We just in time right now. So, I mean, this is just what it's going to be for this time in this era.
So just music for this time that's in this time frame?
That's the main thing. Yeah. Because like AshLee said, all ego aside, I do think that I've been ahead of my time for a while, and I think my time is coming up for things to align. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm made for this era, all the shit that's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's what it is. We about to get it going.
I don't feel like it's just gonna be music, but I just feel like literally you're walking into your entire existence right now. Like, you know how they say, like, when you serve what you're here for, like when you are able to, like, I mean, like the way that you flourish, and even down to your style. Like, I'd be looking at pictures of Jack, and I'd be like, "This the same person?" Y'all saw me flag at the shoot. I'm like, "Yo, bruh, like, bruh."
All right, so AshLee, what you got going? Yeah, we picking up Jack. He's fly, so man. He's fly. So what you got? What's your again? It don't have to, since Jack don't want to put it in the context of the year and time and space doesn't exist, and every time is a flat circle and all that.
You only manifest around people that you are around. You can't be giving out sauce for free.
Oh, so you ain't even trying to give them that. You ain't even, so they don't get nothing. They don't get nothing that AshLee got planned.
No. I wasn't saying that. I was just saying for Jack. Like,
we talking about you.
I'm like, man, you better let it.
Switch it back.
Like, no, like, you don't give away your sauce. But no. So my daughter I am investing in my children because they are the future. Beautiful. And when I'm not here, I just want to make sure that they're always consistent with their growth and they can choose whether they want to go to college. I don't want to hear my children saying, "I got out the mud." No, I got out the mud, so you didn't have to. So I want to normalize not having to get it out of the mud for my children. Like, that's not a 2021 and on saying that's not going to happen. She can choose. They can choose. I have 2 daughters, and they can choose whether they want to go to college or they want to just keep on pushing the businesses that they have, because we know that consistently, we all know that 6 or 7 streams of income allows you to make money in your sleep.
Spit it.
So I think it's invested now, and we have these jackets.
You know what I'm saying? Plug love for my nationwide posse. Ooh, that's dope. That's very dope. So you got to get the people with
on purpose.
That's what I'm saying. We need that. You got to get the people with them links so they know how to cop that. That's hard. Did you make that?
Yo, Jack's like, yo, let me get one.
Yo, let me get one of the rodeo joints.
He's in the rodeo.
My next photo shoot right there.
Lil Nas X. Jack can pull that off though. That's the thing. He can actually pull that off and make it hard.
Anything, bro. Like Jack
he would pull that off and make that hard actually.
With some boots.
Bro, I just found a black-owned company called Neon Cowboys, and they are a black-owned company, and they literally make boots, neon boots that actually glow in the dark. You know, I love horseback riding, so I was like, boom, that'd be perfect with this brand pair to do a collab. And then they have neon cowgirl hats, cowboy hats. I did this from scratch, like literally all the beating.
Yeah, man, we got to get that. So you're coming up with creative creations, launching your own businesses. That's some of your vibe.
She's doing that. She's doing LED lights. We're doing vendor sourcing as well. And then for me, of course, I am growing in the film industry. I'm not at the firm anymore. I kept that as a pillow because I was like so afraid of like running into what my passion was and like really going full-fledged, even though I went to school and, you know, so I feel like at the end of the day, like why waste that money that I sat there and spent, you know, why not put that into something else? I've never felt as liberated as I do when I'm on set or when I'm filming. I'm walking into my destiny, which is producing. So for me, it's like, I'm just working crazy and just literally growing in editing, growing in filming. So between film and fashion, as well as Twitch, going ham on the Twitch because it's AshLee B Baby instead of AshLee C Baby because my real last name is B. But I mean, those are some of the things that I'm walking into from here on out.
Let me drop that. Let's drop that. Then Tristan's gonna bring us home. Guess what? T-Dog. That's a new nickname I just came up with. T-Dog. T-Dog. T-Dog.
T-Dizzy.
T-Dog's gonna bring us home, man. What you got?
With that T-Dog be having whole goals. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And just 2021, just, I don't know. I feel like we just got to see.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, we got to make it through these next few days.
Right,
shit.
you know, I'm trying to get to a bit somewhere.
We can't wait 2021.
I'm trying to get some wave hair, you know, let my hair flow away. I'm trying to actually, a real goal of mine is to grow out my hair. I really enjoy it blowing in the wind.
Lord.
In the Dominican Republic, that was something great.
Are you going to do locks? Are you going to lock it up?
Man.
Are you going to lock it up?
I saw Jack with the long hair. I was like, oh.
Well, hey, look. No, let's check it out, though. Here's been a quick thing, not to go on your shit, Tristan, but my hair has been the same length for like 4 years, man.
Right, that's what I'm like, what are you talking
about?
That
long to catch up, you see?
That's why I can post pictures from like 2 years ago.
Jeez, Louise.
People are like, you in California right now? Like, nah, it's
2018. I'm gonna send you a name of a product that's beast mode.
Beast mode.
Okay, so Tristan's growing his hair out. Nothing about the film or any of the things that you do.
We're just gonna drop films. I mean, a lot of times when I like try to predict what stuff is gonna happen,
manifest, man.
No, but a lot of times I manifest is like it just goes even greater. So I'm not even gonna try to put no caps or limits. It's like I do want to create.
He's so quiet, and he don't want to even talk about the stuff that he does. But like he was at Marvel before anybody else. Like this man literally has edited like the biggest songs that you can think of because he's been my best friend for 10 years. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna say something because like he's one of those people that literally he wants you to see his work, not talk about
he don't like to talk about his stuff.
So at the end of the day, simply only because this is a finale, I want to just big him up for his photography, his vision, his eye when it comes to coloring, when it comes to editing, when it comes to just like a vision. Like when you come across these movies and you don't know that the people behind it takes a lot of people to film a movie, but it takes an army to edit and to bring this whole thing to life. Without editors, it doesn't exist. And Tristan is truly a gem when it comes to the editing world.
Thank you.
When you think of Avengers and all these other movies, boom.
Beast mode.
I said it.
Yeah. Big him up because he won't talk about it. He won't talk about it.
We're just gonna get bags.
Your friend's gonna be like giving you your.
Okay, so Tristan's getting his hair and he's getting bags. Yes. Jack is just doing music. Ashlee's raising her beautiful children and building her business.
Empires.
And you're doing 13 things.
I'm doing a million things and growing digital good times. Crazy. And that's what it is, y'all. We know that you've rode with us through this entire tumultuous year we just had. We're projecting. That's why that was my whole point of this episode, is like us projecting ourselves with positivity, because it's like all kinds of shit going on right now we could be talking about. But in my opinion, I feel like it's better for us to project what is positive in the world that we surround ourselves in, which everything we talked about, tech, film, music, all the stuff that we love, and making sure we understand and we are the active participants at the forefront of this shit, not the back of the bus, because that shit is dead. You know what I mean? So on that note, I want to say that we thank y'all for rocking with us. Digital Good Times season 3 is in the books. Season 4 is coming, so just wait patient. But guess what? If you want to follow along with us and keep abreast of what's going on with Digital Good Times, you can do that by checking into any of our social media platforms. DIGI Good Times on IG, on Twitter. You can follow us at Digi Good Tribe on our Facebook group. We have a Discord. You can go to our website, digigoodtimes.com. If you want to donate, if you want to donate to the cause, and you're like, I want Digital Good Times to grow and get even stronger, well, we have a way for you to do that. We also, again, through our quarterly Digi Good drops, are making exclusive handmade bespoke products for you all that are one time only. They'll never be made again. There's not any podcasts or content creators you see in the streets really caring about their community like we do, because we stand alone. Nobody's like us and built like us, and we can't wait to continue to bring y'all this raw essence. I go by the name of Small Odds, man. Who else? What y'all got? Anything else to say as we sign off? I want to on that note say thank you to everyone and participating and listening in, and yeah, we're gonna keep on coming, man. Digital Good Times, you already know. 2021 out here.